farther in. He might not like the movement. Copied some of that, but you're coming through very, very soft, sort of 1 or 2 out of 5. Hello, Cindy. I think Cindy's in Hawthorne. Seems our signal's not the only thing suffering at the moment, but the radio is as well. But her first litter, the first 2 litters, were fathered by Yambulu Yordan, and I think it's these last 2 litters. Or maybe it was the first 3 that were Yambulu Yordan. No, first 2. That's right, because she's about to give birth to the 4th. So his father is, because I'm sure she's either given birth, if the new father is Mvula. So I think at the 4 litters, there are 2 different fathers at the 4 litters. I do need to catch up on all of the things. Sharon in Austria has, over time, sent me a lot of information about what's been going on. I don't really have easy access to emails and things, and I don't really have easy access to electricity to charge my laptop. So I don't use it every day, and I don't have that great a cell phone signal to be able to go online from home. But I do go online when I get to town and I manage to get to a power outlet. But often I'm really pressed for time. So sometimes when I've received information, I haven't really been through it in depth and I don't really absorb it very well. It seems I'm not absorbing as much as I used to. I go through a lot of information, but it's the absorption of it that I battle with lately. So over the last 3 years since I've been away, I've kind of forgotten things and I need to refresh my memory, but I've also need to learn about what's been going on in the last 3 years, especially with the likes of Karula's previous litters and of course the males and the dynamics of the other leopard within the area, especially those down in Arathusa who I haven't seen at all, or I haven't seen for many years. And of course I'm not too sure about other leopards. You know, all other parts of Africa that I've lived, never really had this kind of interaction with an audience to maintain such a database of leopard genealogy or keeping track of their lives the way that we do, especially with modern social media that didn't exist in the days when I was up in East Africa or Botswana or Zambia or wherever. So we didn't have such I guess, in such a thorough understanding of leopards' family histories and family trees. So it's hard for me to think back on all the leopards that I've known over the years, of who their mothers and fathers were, or how many litters they had, or what the breakdown of the sexes are of their litters. So Karula is a very good example, but it would be interesting to find out from others whether other leopards have had similar things, because you can't really extrapolate with what's happened with Karula and her four litters rather. We don't know what. My brain is working overtime. We would need to incorporate the study of various other females and their litters and the breakdown of the sexes of their litters and their fathers to get some sort of basis of understanding, because you certainly can't use one as a basis for making an assumption about all leopards. You'll need lots of leopards, lots of information. And I hope you're all happy to sit with the leopard, although he's catnapping and looking around. He's not doing much. The thing is, you see, this is a cat, so at any moment now, something could. He's also pretty wooden. It's quite possible for something to come strolling by, a small herd of impala or a steenbok or a francolin. It's quite possible for something to arouse his attention. Not that I want him to hunt it for us on the camera. I'm just thinking in terms of how we learn patience from cats. The only time to see real cat behavior is to spend time with them. And unfortunately, cats have energy dynamics that are quite critical. There's no good walking around and spending energy that he needs to hunt. And so energy conservation is a very important thing in the life of a cat. As I mentioned earlier, you know, the success rate at hunting isn't very good to begin with, and being a young leopard that hasn't honed his skills very well, his success rate is even lower than an adult. So every time he does attempt to kill, he's spending energy that he can't really afford to lose, and it can reach a point where during a hunt that he'll have to give up so that he can conserve enough energy to hunt again. So invariably one finds that cats do tend to sleep a lot. And one thing that I hear a lot from people is that cats are so lazy, they sleep all the time. It's sad that people feel that way, because lazy implies something that cats are not. And if anything, I don't know, domestic cats might be different, because they're fed all the time. If anything, it's just a very good example of how energy conservation works. And because they're conserving energy and they've got a lot of energy pent up waiting to be unleashed when an opportunity arises, it's remarkable to see how fast they can go from sleeping to hunting in the blink of an eye. Unless you see it, you don't really understand the speed of the cat. And it's for that reason that I say there's no such thing as a lazy cat. Do you agree with me, little boy? Quarantine male. Wish he had a nice name, a decent, better name. Oh, there we go. Give us your belly. Look at that. It's a soft, fluffy belly. He's not very full. He's got something in his belly. It was a scrub hair. I think it's Robert. If it is, hi there to you. I must have moving and we're just dropping signal. I don't know how that works, but it's pretty much like my phone signal works at home. I can have the phone in one place and 1 minute there's signal and the next minute there's nothing. It's almost like the wind blows and it blows the signal. Or get DNA material from the litter, from the different leopards in the litter to see. It's probably not likely. I would say it's not likely because of the dynamics of leopard as opposed to domestic cats. Domestic cats, when a domestic cat is in heat or in estrus, she will be covered by different males, and that is mostly because there are various males that'll have access to her. In fact, lion for that matter. Can have different fathers in the same litter because you'll have a coalition of males, and because the female is in estrus for an extended period of time, there will be different males covering a female, brothers perhaps. But with leopard, the male's territory is a very well defended and marked thing, and the females that he has in his territory are not likely to encounter other males, although it's not impossible that the female maybe borders on, or her territory maybe crosses over into the male leopard during the mating period. Will stick with the one female during the time that she's in estrus and she's being covered over a 2 or 3 day period, and he won't let any other males come near her during that time. So it's something worth looking into, Rabia. That's now I need to try and move to get a little open gap here for Bernie to come in. I'm going to try and go forward a little bit so that he can come in behind us. Welcome back. I know we are losing you, and you're coming back on and off. I'm not going to get a photo of it because the angle's all wrong, but see how much you can get out of his face. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Try and fill the frame with his face. Too much. Yeah, guys are moving around too much.